Volume 2, Book 20, number 186, narrated by Ibn Abbas. The Prophet once stayed for 19 days and prayed shortened prayers. So when we led and stayed for 19 days, we used to shorten the prayer, but if we traveled and stayed for a longer period, we used to offer the full prayer. Volume 2, Book 20, number 187, narrated by Yahya bin Ishaq. I heard Anas saying, "We traveled with the Prophet from Medina to Mecca, and offered 2 rakat for every prayer, till we returned to Medina." I said, "Did you stay for a while in Mecca?" He replied, "We stayed in Mecca for 10 days. Volume 2, Book 20, number 188, narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. I offered the prayer with the Prophet Abu Bakr and Umar at Mina, and it was of 2 rakat. Uthman in the early days of his caliphate did the same, but later on he started praying the full prayer. Volume 2, Book 20, number 189, narrated by Haritha bin Wahab, the Prophet. I led us in the prayer at Mina during the peace period by offering 2 rakat. Volume 2, Book 20, number 190, narrated by Abdur Rahman bin Yazid. We offered a 4 rakat prayer at Mina behind Ibn Affan. Abdullah bin Masud was informed about it. He said sadly, "Truly to Allah we belong and truly to Him we shall return," and added, "I prayed 2 rakat with Allah's apostle at Mina, and similarly with Abu Bakr and with Umar during their caliphates." He further said, "May I be lucky enough to have 2 of the 4 rakat accepted by Allah." Volume 2, Book 20, number 191, narrated by Ibn Abbas. The Prophet and his companions reached Mecca in the morning of the 4th Dhul Hijjah reciting Talbiyah. "O Allah, we are obedient to your orders, we respond to your call," intending to perform Hajj. The Prophet ordered his companions to assume the Ihram for Umrah instead of Hajj, excepting those who had Hadi, sacrifice, with them. Volume 2, Book 20, number 192, narrated by Ibn Umar. The Prophet said, "A woman should not travel for more than 3 days except with a mahram, that is a male with whom she cannot marry at all, for example, her brother, father, grandfather, etc., or her own husband." Volume 2, Book 20, number 193, narrated by Ibn Umar. The Prophet said, "A woman should not travel for more than 3 days except with a mahram." Volume 2, Book 20, number 194, narrated by Abu Huraira. The Prophet, p.b.u.h, said, "It is not permissible for a woman who believes in Allah and the Last Day to travel for 1 day and night except with a mahram." Volume 2, Book 20, number 195, narrated by Anas bin Malik offered 4 rakat of Zuhr prayer with the Prophet, p.b.u.h, at Medina and 2 rakat at Dhul Hulaifa, that is shortened the Asr prayer. Volume 2, Book 20, number 196, narrated by Aisha. When the prayers were first enjoined, they were of 2 rakat each. Later, the prayer in a journey was kept as it was, but the prayers for non-travelers were completed. As Zuhri said, "I asked Urwa what made Aisha pray the full prayers in journey. He replied, she did the same as Uthman did." Volume 2, Book 20, number 197, narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. I saw Allah's apostle delaying the Maghrib prayer till he offered it along with the Isha prayer whenever he was in a hurry during the journey. Salim narrated, "Ibn Umar used to do the same whenever he was in a hurry during the journey." And Salim added, "Ibn Umar used to pray the Maghrib and Isha prayers together in Al-Muzdalifa." Salim said, "Ibn Umar delayed the Maghrib prayer because at that time he heard the news of the death of his wife Safiya bint Abi Ubaid. I said to him, 'The prayer is due.' He said, 'Go on.' Again I said, 'The prayer is due.' He said, 'Go on,' till we covered 2 or 3 miles. Then he got down, prayed, and said, 'I saw the Prophet praying in this way whenever he was in a hurry during the journey.'" Abdullah bin Umar added, "Whenever the Prophet was in a hurry, he used to delay the Maghrib prayer and then offer 3 rakat of the Maghrib and perform taslim. And after waiting for a short while, Iqama used to be pronounced for the Isha prayer when he would offer 2 rakat and perform taslim. He would never offer any optional prayer till the middle of the night when he used to pray the tahajjud." Volume 2, Book 20, number 198, narrated by Abdullah bin Amir from his father who said, "I saw the Prophet, p.b.u.h, offering the prayer on his mount, Rahila, whatever direction it took." Volume 2, Book 20, number 199, narrated by Jabir bin Abdullah. The Prophet used to offer the Nawafil while riding, facing a direction other than that of the Qibla. Volume 2, Book 20, number 200, narrated by Nafi ibn Umar, while on a journey, used to offer the prayer and the Witr on his mount, Rahila. He said that the Prophet used to do so. Volume 2, Book 20, number 201, narrated by Abdullah bin Dinar. On traveling, Abdullah bin Umar used to offer the prayer on his mount by signs whatever direction it took. Abdullah said that the Prophet used to do so. Volume 2, Book 20, number 202, narrated by Amir bin Rabia. I saw the Prophet on his mount praying Nawafil by nodding his head, whatever direction he faced, but Allah's apostle never did the same in offering the compulsory prayers. Narrated Salim. At night Abdullah bin Umar used to offer the prayer on the back of his animal during the journey, and never cared about the direction he faced. Ibn Umar said, Allah's apostle used to offer the optional prayer on the back of his mount facing any direction, and also used to pray the Witr on it but never offered the compulsory prayer on it. Volume 2, Book 20, number 203, narrated by Anas bin Sirin. The Prophet used to pray, the Nawafil, on his mount facing east, and whenever he wanted to offer the compulsory prayer, he used to dismount and face the Qibla. Volume 2, Book 20, number 204, narrated by Jabir bin Abdullah. We went to receive Anas bin Malik when he returned from Sham and met him at a place called Ain Tamar. I saw him praying riding the donkey with his face to this direction, that is to the left of the Qibla. I said to him, I have seen you offering the prayer in a direction other than that of the Qibla. He replied, if I had not seen Allah's apostle doing it, I would not have done it. Volume 2, Book 20, number 205, narrated by Hafs bin Asim. Ibn Umar went on a journey and said, I accompanied the Prophet, and he did not offer optional prayers during the journey, and Allah says, verily, in Allah's apostle you have a good example to follow. 33.21, Volume 2, Book 20, number 206, narrated by Ibn Umar. I accompanied Allah's apostle, and he never offered more than 2 rakat during the journey. Abu Bakr, Umar and Uthman used to do the same. Volume 2, Book 20, number 207, narrated by Ibn Abu Layla only. Hani told us that she had seen the Prophet p.b.u.h. offering the duha, forenoon prayer. She said, on the day of the conquest of Mecca, the Prophet took a bath in my house and offered 8 rakat. I never saw him praying such a light prayer, but he performed perfect prostration and bowing. Narrated Abdullah bin Amir that his father had told him that he had seen the Prophet p.b.u.h. praying Nawafil at night on the back of his mount on a journey, facing whatever direction it took. Volume 2, Book 20, number 208. Narrated by Salim bin Abdullah. Ibn Umar said, Allah's apostle used to pray the Nawafil on the back of his mount, carriage, by signs facing any direction. Ibn Umar used to do the same. Volume 2, Book 20, number 209, narrated by Salim's father. The Prophet used to offer the Maghrib and Isha prayers together whenever he was in a hurry on a journey. Narrated Ibn Abbas. Allah's apostle used to offer the Zuhr and Asr prayers together on journeys, and also used to offer the Maghrib and Isha prayers together. Narrated Anas bin Malik. The Prophet used to offer the Maghrib and the Isha prayers together on journeys. Volume 2, Book 20, number 210, narrated by Az-Zuri. Salim told me, Abdullah bin Umar said, I saw Allah's apostle delaying the Maghrib prayer till he offered it along with the Isha prayer whenever he was in a hurry during the journey. Salim said Abdullah bin Umar used to do the same whenever he was in a hurry during the journey. After making the call for Iqamah for the Maghrib prayer, he used to offer 3 rakat and then perform taslum. After waiting for a short while, he would pronounce the Iqamah for the Isha prayer and offer 2 rakat and perform taslim. He never prayed any nawafil in between the 2 prayers, or after the Isha prayers till he got up in the middle of the night for tahajjud prayer. Volume 2, Book 20, number 211, narrated by Anas. Allah's apostle used to offer these 2 prayers together on journeys, that is the Maghrib and the Isha. Volume 2, Book 20, number 212, narrated by Anas bin Malik. Whenever the Prophet started a journey before noon, he used to delay the Zuhr prayer till the time of Asr and then offer them together, and if the sun declined, at noon, he used to offer the Zuhr prayer and then ride for the journey. Volume 2, Book 20, number 213, narrated by Anas bin Malik. Whenever the Prophet started the journey before noon, he used to delay the Zuhr prayer till the time for the Asr prayer, and then he would dismount and pray them together, and whenever the sun declined before he started the journey, he used to offer the Zuhr prayer and then ride for the journey. Volume 2, Book 20, number 214, narrated by Aisha. Allah's apostle prayed in his house while sitting during his illness, and the people prayed behind him standing, and he pointed to them to sit down. When he had finished the prayer, he said, the Imam is to be followed, and so when he bows you should bow, and when he lifts his head you should also do the same. Volume 2, Book 20, number 215, narrated by Anas bin Malik. Allah's apostle, p.b.u.h, fell down from a horse and his right side was either injured or scratched, so we went to inquire about his health. The time for the prayer became due, and he offered the prayer while sitting, and we prayed while standing. He said, "The imam is to be followed, so if he says takbir you should also say takbir, and if he bows you should also bow. And when he lifts his head, you should also do the same, and if he says, Sami Allahu liman hamida, Allah hears whoever sends his praises to him, you should say, Rabbana walakal hamd, O our Lord, all the praises are for you." See Hadith number 656 Vol 1, Volume 2, Book 20, number 216, narrated by Imran bin Hussein, who had piles. I asked Allah's apostle about the praying of a man while sitting. He said, "If he prays while standing it is better, and he who prays while sitting gets half the reward of that who prays standing, and whoever prays while lying gets half the reward of that who prays while sitting." Volume 2, Book 20, number 217, narrated by Abdullah bin Buraida. Imran bin Hussein had piles. Once Abu Mamar narrated from Imran bin Hussein had said, I asked the Prophet, p.b.u.h, about the prayer of a person while sitting. He said, "It is better for one to pray standing, and whoever prays sitting gets half the reward of that who prays while standing, and whoever prays while lying gets half the reward of that who prays while sitting." Volume 2, Book 20, number 218, narrated by Imran bin Hussein had piles, so I asked the Prophet about the prayer. He said, "Pray while standing, and if you can't, pray while sitting, and if you cannot do even that, then pray lying on your side." Volume 2, Book 20, number 219, narrated by Aisha, the mother of the faithful believers. I never saw Allah's apostle offering the night prayer while sitting except in his old age, and then he used to recite while sitting, and whenever he wanted to bow he would get up and recite 30 or 40 verses while standing, and then bow. Volume 2, Book 20, number 220, narrated by Aisha, the mother of the faithful believers. Allah's apostle, in his last days, used to pray sitting. He would recite while sitting, and when 30 or 40 verses remained from the recitation, he would get up and recite them while standing, and then he would bow and prostrate. He used to do the same in the second rekah. After finishing the prayer he used to look at me, and if I was awake he would talk to me, and if I was asleep, he would lie down.